we have a special guest, a former Gator. We all love Billy Donovan. Well, this guy loved him so much that he committed. He was his first commit. This guy committed as a sophomore in high school when Billy took the job. I had to go back and do a little bit of looking. Kentucky remembers a game in 2001. He put 28 on them. Please give a warm tip-off club welcome to Teddy Dupay.
Hello, everybody. How are you? It's great to be a Gator, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. I didn't know you guys were eating today, or that you wouldn't have any soda. So if you could just stand up real quick, please. Everybody stand up. It's all right. And kind of stretch your hands out, not too wide, don't hit anybody. All right, and stretch them all the way up, kind of wiggle your fingers a little bit. And hopefully today the kids don't have to make a great play to get us on our feet. I knew this great tradition we used to have where the fans wouldn't sit down until the Gators scored a point. So I will also go into the locker room before the game and tell them you guys appreciate them. But I think we could tell them ourselves, because being a leader and creating a tradition means you got to step forward and do something that isn't cool, that isn't trendy. So reach up a little higher, stretch, stretch, stretch. And then everybody just kind of twist a little bit to your right and give the person a massage. Give it back, gotta be a team. Yeah, go ahead, have a seat. Go ahead, have a seat, guys. Here are the things I wanted to cover today, because one of the hardest things with these types of banquets or events or meals or speeches or whatever is, what do people want? I want to give you guys what you want. I'm glad you asked those questions. Freshmen, starting 3 freshmen. Coach mentioned Duke talent. The noise that's happening and surrounding, whatever that means. I haven't been in Gainesville, but I have a hunch. Believe me, this job's hard enough. But I have the people that have your back, making noise. It's up to us to support the program in good times and bad. Good times are coming. Nobody likes to lose. But then again, we have a winning record. Think about that. That's tradition. But so I want to give you guys what you want. Obviously, thank you for having me here. It's a great honor. Who was a Gator and a Gator fan and attending games when I was playing? Not many. Wow.
What year?
Well, let's go back. I'm Teddy Dupay. Billy Donovan's first recruit. So Billy got the job at Florida. He was 29, I believe, 29 or 30. And my high school coach, my freshman and sophomore year of high school, was a guy named Tim Maloney. And Tim was a friend of his from New York City. And so when I was 14 one time, he was the coach at Marshall. Coaches weren't allowed to talk to us at this camp. And I said, hey, coach, Tim Maloney is my coach. He goes, oh, yeah, how you doing? And this was a big camp, you know. You don't go to this camp unless you're good. And he said, yeah, you think you want to come to Marshall? And I said, absolutely not, I'm going to Duke. And I was. Because as they said, Duke talent. You know, I was a McDonald's All-American. I was a sophomore at the time Billy got the job. So before we get forward, he got the job. Tim Maloney left to go to the University of Buffalo, get some college experience, but I didn't have a high school coach. So I was going to transfer to Miami High to play for Frank Martin. He was there, a great friend. We ended up getting a couple players there to join our team. But Billy got the job, and I was a sophomore. Next day, he was in the gym, at my gym. And he said, I want to start a point guard. I want to build a program here in Florida, and I want it to be you. So I thought about that a little bit. And I said, but that would mean I'm not going to Duke. So we thought about it, and I had a great reputation in the community basketball players, and I knew who I wanted. So our goal was, if I waited and strung it out, going to Florida still wouldn't be a cool choice. But if I committed early, created some press, created some headlines, I could go out there and recruit with rules that coaches did not have. And we got everybody. We got everybody. Started with Brent Wright, Major Parker. They were a year ahead of me, right down in Miami. Major's the man. I love that guy. We all make mistakes. We're all sinners. God will forgive us all. You just accept him in. As long as you know that. That's the truth.
Amen.
Brent, toughest ball player I ever played with. And Udonis. But then we started our recruiting class. Mike Miller, Udonis Haslam, Adarius Halton, and me. We had another guy named Silver Robinson. He couldn't get in and qualify. Also a Miami High guy. Our goal was to recruit the state of Florida and to never, ever, ever let another player leave the state of Florida without becoming a Florida Gator, period. We made a point to do that, and that's what we did. So Billy's first 2 years, we really struggled here, really struggled. And there was a lot of noise. Hired this young coach, give a scholarship to this little white kid, he can't play. So we came in and we started 4 freshmen. And we made it to the Sweet 16 that year. Every single one of us, first team All-SEC freshman team. It was unbelievable. The next year we came back, preseason number 1, had another great recruiting class, brought in Donnell Harvey, a couple other guys, amazing class. Won the SEC, went through the national finals, we lost, so we lost, we're the big losers that year. Buffalo Bills of college basketball, right? We lost in the national championship game to Michigan State, but it was unbelievable. We had a great run. But a lot of people don't remember that first game of that tournament was against Butler. Who remembers that game? Butler. 5-12 matchup. Losing the whole game. We just fought, we just scratched and we clawed. Till we finally got the ball back with 4 seconds to go in overtime. Pushed up the court, I was gonna shoot. I would never pass that ball. I slipped, and thank goodness Mike was right there and he made that shot. We all sacrificed. We had 5 McDonald's All-Americans. Every guy on our team was good. Nobody played more than 22 minutes a game. Like you said, I only averaged 10 points a game. Unbelievable. In high school, I averaged 42 points a game. I set the all-time scoring record that still stands. 3,744 points. Florida Mr. Basketball, McDonald's All-American, and all of these things that were accomplished were after I had committed to the University of Florida. My coach my last 2 years of high school was Frank Morris, Billy Donovan's high school coach. He came out of retirement to come coach me my last 2 years so I could learn the system. And the whole plan was to be Billy's first recruit, be the guy that helped build the team, just like he did for Patino at Providence, become a great coach. But unfortunately, I was a 20-year-old knucklehead when I was 20. And I was hanging out with some of the wrong people, and I paid a very severe price for it. Now, for those of you that think I was kicked out of school, I was not. I would have been suspended for a year, so I left school to not be a distraction. Went and played pro ball in Phoenix, then played in Venezuela, then was up in Chicago, and I blew out my ACL. It was 2.5 years later. Came back to the University of Florida on a full scholarship. They paid for my surgery, did my physical therapy, took care of me like Gators do, and I finished my degree and I graduated. Time and time again, we've been supported here by the Gators, and so I want to tell some stories today. Definitely tell some Kentucky stories. I want to ask you guys if you have any stories you'd like to hear about. But my freshman year at Kentucky, we were right on the brink of the NCAA tournament. And the people were camping out for a week. They were camping out. After practice, Billy would buy pizza for them. We'd go hang out with them for a week. They were camping out to get those student tickets. And so I told them, if we win, I'm crowd surfing. Oh yeah, I sure did. We came back. Kentucky was the defending national. No, I think they won the national title that year. They did. And that might have been their last loss. We had to win that game to get into the NCAA tournament. We did. We weren't ranked. They were number 3. And the crowd really backed us up. They raised the stakes. They raised the level. And that was a night I felt like the O-Dome really became just a very, very significant home court advantage for us forever and for years after that. And so hopefully that can pop out today. But we won. I think I ended up hitting a little lefty, completely lucky shot. Spun off the backboard, ended up beating them, and jumped over on the scores table. And he jumped up over on the rail. There were 3 rails. My foot was on the top one. Had I slipped, that would have been a Sports Center not top 10. And they jumped and they caught me and they surfed me all over. And Jeremy Foley's coming up into the crowd and then they moved me away from him and it was just a whole lot of fun. Everybody was just so happy to win that game. And it was amazing. And then talk about the other game in Kentucky that last year, CBS, 28, I thought I had 30. I'm gonna check that. But it was a good game, and we beat them. We needed that win. That year, my junior year, my sophomore year, I played with a rotator cuff the entire year, torn. And in my junior year, I was having a lot of pain shooting down my leg. Now, some of you are a little older. You might have had that pain before. I was 19. And treating me for knee pain, until one day I was getting treated and I sneezed and it really hurt. And the trainer apologized. He goes, oh my goodness. The next day, Dr. Day did back surgery on me and my career was probably over. And definitely the season. And so we started the SEC season and lost, and we lost again, and we lost again, then we won and we lost, and we were 1-4 in the SEC after being preseason number 1, number 2. And they asked me if I'd come back, try and play. So I did. 20 days later, who was here for that Tennessee game? Wow. I committed early. I want to create a tradition, something that lives forever. Not that few people have been at that game and remember that memory but me. It's really tricky.
I remember.
It's really tricky. It was unbelievable. We ended up winning 11 out of 12. Ran the table. Our only loss was a 1-point overtime loss to Kentucky at Kentucky, including a big win at the end of the season. Got in the tournament. We won the SEC game that year. We went back-to-back SEC championships, which was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Boy, there's a lot of great memories. A lot of great memories. But I wanted to ask you guys if you had any stories or any questions. I have a couple other things we could talk about, but they're not as important. Do you guys have any questions?